Toy Story 2. When most people think Disney sequels, the image that comes up is a quickly put together cash-in that doesn't even come close to the magic of the first one. But leave it to John Lasseter and the folks over at Pixar to buck that trend. They set out to make a sequel that was just as good as the first one, and they succeeded. While Toy Story was a fantastic film thanks to its original story and well thought out humor, Toy Story 2 added an excellent emotional layer that has Woody debating how long Andy will still care for him, as well as a sad story involving Jessie the cowgirl doll. Of course, the whole subplot involving Buzz and crew going to save him also has a boatload of laughs, and the animation is a major knockout of the park. And the 3D double feature I experienced a number of months ago was definitely one of my favorite cinematic experiences.
I'm going to let go of the wall.
What? He wouldn't.
One.
He would.
Two.
Guys!
Three.
Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Toy Story 2.
Ride like the wind, Bullseye!
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. While this is technically part of a 9-hour feature film, being as the trilogy was released separately, I'll throw it in here. Peter Jackson did a solid job with the first two Lord of the Rings adaptations, but he really showed what he can do with the final chapter. This is pretty much the film that defines epic, as all 3 hours are immersive and never lets go. Everything that started boiling in the Fellowship of the Ring came to a final bow as the characters really showed their potential, and we really start rooting for Frodo to reach that mountain. The large ensemble is divided well amongst themselves, and Jackson handled the massive cast very well as all the actors delivering some of their best work, Sean Astin being the standout in my opinion. As much as I like the trilogy as a whole, this is far and away my favorite in the series.
All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you.
We shall see the Shire again.
You gave away your life's grace. I cannot protect you anymore.
We cannot achieve victory through strength of arms.
Not for ourselves.
But we can give Frodo a chance.
Aliens. James Cameron once again directs a sequel that betters the first film, this time to Ridley Scott's haunted house horror film rather than his own creation. Making it in the vein of a Vietnam War action film, he made a riveting experience while also expanding on Sigourney Weaver's Ripley and turning her into an iconic action hero. Of course, Cameron doesn't forget the horror origins of the series, and needless to say, you will become slightly paranoid walking the dark hallways after watching this for the first time. At the same time, he also pushed the technological envelope as Stan Winston helped in creating an incredible screen villain in the form of the Alien Queen.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
The Empire Strikes Back. Back in 1980, there was likely a lot of pressure on the part of George Lucas and director Irvin Kershner to create a sequel to Star Wars that lived up to the magic of the first film. Well, they definitely succeeded with a film that wasn't afraid to go into a darker direction, and helped in developing the characters we became so fond of in the previous episode. Introducing fantastic new characters like Yoda and Lando Calrissian, and featuring the most shocking reveal in cinematic history. Needless to say, they succeeded in following up the most successful film of all time with a gem that lasts just as long in people's minds.
They cross trackless voids to unknown worlds. A galactic odyssey against oppression. A big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back. Coming to your galaxy next summer.
And my pick for the greatest film sequel of all time is...
The drama of absolute power and the men who violate it. The Godfather, Part 2.
What is your name?
Don Vito Corleone and his son Michael both had seen the ones they loved most cut down before their eyes.
The Godfather Part 2. Yes, it's a typical choice, but this is a truly terrific sequel. A lot of debate occurs among film fans over which Godfather they like better, and I fall in the group that likes Part 2 over Part 1. Francis Ford Coppola perfectly blended the two separate stories of both Michael Corleone dealing with being the Godfather and his father's rise in the Mafia, and through its entire 3-hour length, I'm captivated by it. The excellent performances from Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, John Cazale, and Diane Keaton also help in bringing these iconic characters to life, and the screenplay is just incredibly well written from start to finish. This is a film I cannot recommend enough, and while I do certainly recommend The Godfather, this one also works incredibly well on its own. See you next time.
The Godfather Part 2 is Sicily in 1921.